This vein, it ultimately receives drainage from all these intercostal veins. So basically it receives drainage from the entire thoracic wall. So this is the azygous vein. You can very clearly see it on this model, and almost as clearly on this model. Azygous vein, it's asymmetrical. It's to the right of the vertebral column, or runs along the right side of the vertebral column. And of course, I have already shown you the azygous vein in the cat. On these torso models, the azygous vein, the smaller torso models that are on each table, the azygous vein is not shown. Okay, so now let's move to the abdominal cavity. Now, in this sort of the standardized torso, there are just a few stumps branching from the abdominal aorta, which are very hard to identify. But actually, the superior stump corresponds to this short artery here. It's called the celiac trunk. And then it gives off several branches. And of these branches, the only one you can identify clearly is this branch, which is the splenic artery. This is the spleen. This is the kidney. This is the kidney. This is the spleen. So celiac trunk, splenic artery, and this is obviously the splenic vein. So then you have the superior and inferior mesenteric arteries, but these I'll show you on the demo cat, because they're not clearly visible on any of these models. So let's see. So we're moving inferiorly along the abdominal aorta, and you have these arteries going to kidneys. What arteries would those be? Renal, which means kidney arteries, and these are obviously renal veins. Renal arteries, renal veins. These thin, curly, and kind of obliquely oriented arteries and veins they're very similar in both the human and the cat.
Oh, how do you see it?
Very thin, kind of curly, obliquely oriented. Anyone? These are genital or gonadal arteries and veins. And also, remember in the cat there was a pair of iliolumbar arteries and veins? Well, in humans there are no iliolumbars, but there are several lumbar arteries and veins. Lumbar arteries, lumbar veins. At its inferior end, I think we need to shut the door. It's way breeze. These are called common iliac arteries. Are there common iliac arteries in the cat?
Yeah.
No, there aren't. In the cat, the external iliac and internal iliac arteries directly branch from the abdominal aorta. Again, there is no common iliac artery in the cat. So if you don't remember this, you will make a mistake when identifying the external iliac arteries in the cat. So external iliac artery, once it passes through the abdominal wall, becomes the femoral artery. And conversely, the femoral vein, once it passes through the abdominal wall, becomes the external iliac vein. It joins with the internal iliac vein into the common iliac vein, and then the two common iliac veins join into the inferior vena cava. And of course, this is the superior vena cava, into which drain the two brachiocephalic veins. Superior vena cava, inferior vena cava. Okay, one more vein, and this one is only clearly shown on this model, is great saphenous vein of the anterior thigh, which drains into the femoral vein. So, on this model, what are these veins and arteries? Anyone? Curly, thin, obliquely oriented.
Genital?
Exactly, genital arteries and genital veins. This artery is what? What's the name of this artery? Branches from the inferior end of the abdominal aorta. This artery is, anyone? Excuse me. I mean, come on. Iliac, which then branches into, what artery is this? If this is common iliac, then this is, how about you try again? Yes, that is external, but on the exam you get only one try. So, obviously you have time to prepare. So, external iliac artery, internal iliac artery. External iliac vein, internal iliac vein is not very clearly shown. And once external iliac artery and vein pass through the abdominal wall into the anterior thigh, they become femoral artery, femoral vein. Again, great saphenous vein. Lumbar arteries and veins, arteries and veins. On this model, again, common iliac, internal iliac, external iliac, femoral artery. This is the genital or gonadal artery. And let's see, I think that's pretty much it.